Hi, thanks for tuning in to Do Something. I'm Don Baham, and my co-host tonight is Shaun Savage. Do Something is the live call-in talk show where we get to not just talk about what's wrong with where our country's leaders are taking us today, but we get to talk about what we must do about it. All you've got to do is watch the program, take down the phone number, and call when we ask you to. You don't have to be a brain or an expert or anything like that to call in. You just have to tell us one thing that you think is wrong and what you're going to do about it. Shaun and I will take a few minutes to talk about our one thing that we think is wrong and what we're doing about it. And please remember that if our conversation arouses anger or outrage, we ask you to please keep it under control so that when you are on the air, your choice of words are appropriate for a family show. And it's going to be a hard time keeping Shaun under control because he just got back from China. So let's get going. Hi, Shaun. Good to see you.
How you doing, big guy?
Missed you a long time. You were gone for almost 6 weeks, huh?
Yeah. I had a great time in China.
You did.
The one thing I learned was China is more capitalistic than America.
More capitalistic than America. What does that mean? How can that be?
Okay.
I thought China was a communist nation.
Well, they claim they are, and the Communist Party does rule the nation. But the entry level to owning a business is low in China. You have enough money, you have goods, you have enough money to rent a spot, you start selling. If your product sells, you start a business. Imagine trying to do that in here. All the paperwork, the entry level for starting a business, entrepreneurship, is lower in China than it is in America. In America, it's more corporistic.
Corporistic versus, what do you call it in China now?
Capitalism.
Capitalism, and in America it's
corporationism.
Corporationism. And you prefer what's going on in China rather than...
I prefer a lower entry into entrepreneurship, yes.
Why don't you move to China, for gosh sake? Stop knocking America.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's good to have you back, buddy.
Yeah.
Missed you. We've been carrying on without you, and it's we'll find out by the call-ins as to how much you were missed when the callers see you back and they want to bug you.
Oh, I'm sure so.
So shall we continue?
Sure, that sounds good.
So I will then start off with my one thing that I think we should do something about, and I'm going to do something about, and then you will have yours, and we'll have the viewers give us their one thing. Okay? All right. So the title of the show is What's Important. Today's show is titled What's Important. The U.S. is now laying the groundwork for another October surprise to assure the election of John McCain and continuation of the neocon agenda for U.S. imperialist domination of the world. This October surprise will be a manufactured threat to peace in the world and to our national security, end quotes. A few October surprise candidates for this presidential election season are: 1, the detection of a chemical biological agent in one of our major cities; 2, an escalation of evidence of Iran's planning a terrorist attack somewhere; 3, evidence of an impending al-Qaeda attack somewhere in the world; and 4, a compilation of evidence of Hugo Chavez supporting terrorist states in the Western Hemisphere. Now, I chose the latter candidate because of the sudden increase of U.S. attempts to imply that Chavez's influence is behind the recent Colombia-Ecuador border problem. An article in the Oregonian, that's the Oregonian here in Oregon, 2 days in a row, has more of a flavor of U.S. mischief than Chavez. Now, what I'm doing about it, I'm writing and calling my congresspersons and senators to tell them hands off to demonizing Chavez and increasing the U.S. escalation of attempts to provoke war in South America. So if we can have an October surprise that we had when Carter lost the presidency in the election, and Reagan had, I don't want to go into that right now. So I'm thinking that the Bush administration and the neocons will have something like a need to bomb Iran or...
Well, they're sure working on that.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of saber rattling I hear from the Bush administration is immense.
And Chavez now is the #1 hero in the Western Hemisphere, is on a level of what Hugo Chavez, Fidel Castro was a while ago. And for me, I think Chavez is pursuing the interests of poor people and ordinary folk in South America. So that's my thing I'm doing something about, and I want to see if I get any response from my congresspersons and my senator. Hands off Hugo Chavez. I don't care what you think, get mad at me, but I think he's a good man. So,
sounds good. Sounds interesting.
What's yours?
Mine is the concept of this the spying policy, or the spying on people.
Can we put the phone numbers up on the screen now too, please?
Yeah. Okay. To me, okay, the there's a wiretap bill. The phone companies illegally wiretapped American citizens. Okay? The FBI, in the latest report, basically says that the FBI Chief Judiciary Chairman Patrick Leahy, Democrat Vermont, urged Miller to be more vigilant in correcting what he called widespread, illegal, and improper use of national security letters. And also, they were given an order to capture mail from one address. They captured it from the whole IP of this address.
But the administration says that this is necessary to protect the U.S. citizens from terrorism.
These are not terrorists. These are people who get caught by incompetence, we'll call that at the best, or just plain illegal actions.
Well, don't they need to screen all of the phone messages to select out those who are terrorists or possible terrorists or supporting terrorists?
No, they don't.
Well,
because
Bush would argue that they do. That's
yes,
why they're doing it, isn't it?
That is the climate of fear. Okay? They have not been able to use this wiretapping, and they may have done one person, maybe two, who they've captured because of wiretapping. And they've done 47,000 records. So, and that's legal records, and they've probably done much more illegal records because of incompetence of grabbing all the mail instead of just grabbing one person's. And did you know?
What are you afraid of? Are you afraid they're going to catch you and doing something illegal?
No.
Then why would a law-abiding American citizen be afraid of having their phones tapped and their messages intercepted by the government?
Do you want it tapped? Do you want yours tapped?
I don't.
I don't either.
What are you afraid of?
Nothing. Same thing you are. Nothing.
Okay. I can't get you on that one.
In fact.
So what are you doing about it?
Well, to show how bad privacy is in America, China, Russia, Cambodia, Great Britain, and U.S. all have the worst surveillance society around. And being over in China, I am more afraid of China, or more afraid of America's surveillance than I am Chinese surveillance.
You think it's that bad in our country now?
Oh yeah, because we have the infrastructure and technology to do everything. In China, everything's paper money. So they can't track everything. So only the big guys in China get caught. Here, any person could get caught. Even, tell me, did you speed today?
Did I what?
When you were driving, did you speed today?
No. Well, you think I'm going to say that out loud if hopefully I didn't. What are you setting me up for, Shaun?
When I drive from downtown to here, I go with the flow. The flow is going 60 miles an hour. The speed limit is 50. So that means everyone there is speeding. It's only 5 miles over, but it's safer to go with the flow than to go the speed limit.
Okay. So you don't want your phone messages tapped.
And what am I doing about it?
Yes.
I have called my congressman about it. I have written letters. I'm getting up here on the television show and telling you guys to write your congressman, about illegal wiretapping and you want your privacy back.
All right.
So that's what I'm doing, is I'm trying to get the message out that we don't need this spy society.
So let's put up the phone numbers of the House switchboard and the Senate switchboard and the White House, and put those up periodically so that people can know who to call. So there you are, the U.S. Senate representative phone number and the White House phone numbers. Jot those down. We'll put them up again later on so that you can decide to call in and tell those people what you think about what's important and what needs to be done about it.
Okay,
right?
I want someone out there who wants to be spied upon to call in and tell us about it. Okay? Out there, there's got to be someone out there that says, yeah, I feel safer being spied upon. I want him to explain why.
you're bad, you know. Okay, so those are the two things that we're concerned about and what's important, what needs to be done today. So what else is important that we should do something about today, that you're doing something about?
Well, one of the things I'd like to talk about is this Chavez thing.
My friend Hugo?
Hugo, yeah.
Hugo Chavez.
Hugo Chavez.
So what do you think of Hugo?
I have read things from around the world, the BBC, the...
Hold it, we've got a call here. Robin, I can't see that. Make it a little bigger, please.
Oh, Robin wants to talk about wiretapping. Go ahead, Robin.
Hello?
Yes. Definitely our freedom of speech is in trouble. And self-incrimination.
Yes, yes.
It's another thing. Because, you know, yourself, by what you say, you know, anything. The main thing is the freedom of speech.
Okay, so what you're saying is that the First Amendment, which is the Freedom of Speech Amendment, and the Fourth Amendment, which is the Private Illegal Search and Seizure Amendment, are under attack by this the pervasive concept of spying in America.
Exactly, which eventually ties into the national security thing. See?
So you're unhappy about that situation, and what can you personally do about that?
Personally, what I can do about it is just object to it and continue to inform my fellow citizens.
Yes.
That they are being attacked the way they realize.
Do you have your TV on?
No, it's on. It's actually on. It's on muted.
Okay, good, good. Okay. Well, Robin, I agree with you, and I think that you should call in and remember, talk to your friends about this. You have more influence over your friends.
Yes.
And that's where you should be talking to and get them interested in this issue.
To bring to the awareness of all individuals. You know?
Okay. Well, thank you. Okay, we've got Kim on the phone.
They're trying to chop us up already out there.
Hang in there.
Hang in there, Robin.
Again, Robin. Thanks
Okay.
for calling, buddy.
Kim's on the line with wiretapping. Okay.
Hi. I was not in favor of wiretapping. I just wanted to say that why I'm against it. I understand it's a good argument that if we're all being legal, why don't we want the protection? I just want to say that I hope everybody out there realizes the extent to which this is being used for quote-unquote national security, and that very possibly people such as yourselves, anyone that's concerned about their rights, could be possibly considered to be a
terrorist?
Yes, and that you probably have pretty big FBI files, and anybody else that does anything political does, and there's that's not a limited belief. People, this has been proven. Okay, that's all.
Great. Thank you very much, Kim.
Thank you. Yeah. So, what I think Robin had a good idea that no matter who it is that's going to be calling in, to do what he's doing, to talk to your friends and take the chance. And for myself personally, I wear a T-shirt or a button and nothing tonight out in public, so that even though it may make some people mad, for example, I wear a Ralph Nader T-shirt sometimes, and I get all sorts of looks. But I want to speak out that way and put my views and my opinions out that I think are critically important. I may be wrong in some people's thinking, but speak out, take a chance, talk to people, and that's an important thing to do, in addition to calling and writing and all those other things.
You know, Ralph Nader's going to be running as president again.
Yes, I sent him $100.
Oh, you know what I think he should do?
That didn't make you mad.
I think he should be the Commerce Secretary. Wouldn't that be a kick? Instead of out there, Obama or Clinton, if you hear this, just think, if you put Ralph Nader as the Commerce Secretary, how much will get done?
You're bad, you're bad. Well, I think, let me go into why I support Nader. Because he's the only one that's clear whose interests are for ordinary citizens and working people. There's no hedging about what's really important, I think, for our country and for society in general, like health care and corporations, no corporate personhood. And he's had a life of being an activist and a constructive supporter of the commons and citizens. And suddenly people are saying to me, well, this man's crazy. He's suddenly changed and he's a different human being anymore. His whole life is just chucked away and now he's goofy. Well, I think that kind of thinking was going on before, when people in the past were looked at and frowned upon because they were going against the grain. But that's how it was with women's suffrage, I've said time and again, and civil rights and things like that.
And I think he has done a lot of good things, and I think he did a lot of bad things. I really like the Corvair.
Do we have a caller now? Yeah, now I want to talk about the wiretap.
Okay, we've got a caller.
Hi there.
Hi.
Okay, I hope they're not tapping my phone. You know, I'm pretty dissident.
Well, no, but we're tapping it here.
No, and seriously, you know, seriously, I do visit a lot of very dissident websites. My TV is off.
Okay.
Sorry about the interference, but hang in there.
It's the government.
Uh-huh, I wouldn't doubt it.
But, so yeah, I am concerned because now anybody can say that I'm a terrorist because I have visited this site. I mean, you know, it's like we have lost our civil liberties. There is no more. There is no more. It's over. And the fear is they can use anything. I mean, I really believe the police state is underway. I really do, and I fear that.
I agree with you.
So you think they're going to use the things that they get for political purposes more than terrorist purposes?
Yeah, I believe that they do, I believe I read this, and I think it's factual, but don't quote me, that they do major sweeping of information and store it in areas so that if they want to pick it out and use it later, they have it.
It's called data mining.
Yeah.
And it's by the the group, the umbrella that it was under was called TIA, Total Information Awareness. They stopped that, but the only reason that they stopped it was they split it up to different other departments, so it's not under one department, but they're still doing it. Yes.
Yeah, and it's frightening. We're living in perilous times, you know, and I just, you know, yeah, and I can't even figure out how to hold my service provider, my internet service provider, accountable for their breach of contract. There is no regulation on these people. There is no one to go to. It's really appalling. And you know, I've been round and round with them, and that's another story. But I did want to touch on Chavez. You know, I have a friend from Colombia,
Yes.
And I have spoken to her politically, and how do I say this? Central Americans and South Americans are very polite, and they're very gracious about being in this country. That's what makes me so angry about this immigration issue. I have never met a rude Latino in my life. In fact, they will smile and nod and pretend they understand you when they don't understand a word you're saying, just to be polite. You know?
What do you think about Hugo Chavez as a leader?
You know, here I go being dissident. I think he's a hero. I think the alphabet agencies in this elite, whatever it is, have tried to get rid of him, and the people said, oh no, we're bringing him back.
Hey, well, listen, thank you now, because we have another caller waiting, and I appreciate your call so much.
Okay, bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye. So, you want to take Len?
Hey, Len, tell us about wiretapping.
Len, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool.
Yeah. So, you know, I had a comment on this wiretapping thing.
Please, go ahead.
Well, you know, Bush and his, and his friends in the White House, they got caught with their pants down listening in other companies to find out what their weak spots were, how to invest into different companies. They did it for all financial reasons. On the front line, to cover it up, they were saying, well, it's used to prevent active terrorism. And actually, they were using it to make better investments for their own companies. I thought that with all the computer geeks that we have nowadays, we could form our own little wiretapping club, which gives me a new idea. Tapmyphone.com. I think I'm going to patent that tonight.
You're
and
dangerous.
wiretapping.com. Yeah. See if people want to jump in on this and start hacking out the satellite systems to tap our own phones to see about paying them back a little bit. And when they realize that this is a brand new thing, like the media that you guys have with freedom of speech, trying to close you down left and right.
Well, you know, I'm laughing at that. It's a great idea, but we need to register. I need to register that. We are not endorsing anything that's illegal that's going to get us, any of us, in trouble. This is an interesting conversation, and whatever you do, that's going to have things be what we're supposed to be.
First of all, you have to do port scans, then you have to do, never mind.
Shaun, I gotta watch you too, then.
See, that's what I'm saying. Wiretapping.com. I think I'm gonna patent that domain name tonight. And
GoDaddy's cheap.
Yeah, and see if people want to jump in on that, so we can start wiretapping them right back, because they're doing it for a hobby, for their own personal gain. Oh, it's to prevent active terrorism, you know. So maybe we can get a bunch of other people to jump in on wiretapping.com, phonetapping.com, to figure out new ways to tap the phone and pay the government back a little bit. Did you guys ever listen to the old Watergate tapes by Nixon?
Yes.
Did you ever hear
Okay.
those?
Okay, we're going to have to leave you, Len, okay? And be
It was
careful.
totally legal then, and it's totally legal now.
Don't get into trouble.
Be good.
Thanks, buddy.
Right.
Barrett, how do you pronounce that?
All right.
Barrett, how do you pronounce your name?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, do you remember on the news a while back, about a week ago, they were talking, or a couple weeks ago, they were talking about the internet lines being cut underneath the ocean?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
And how many? 5 were cut, right?
This
I
is
don't know,
all an
I heard-
accident, of course.
I heard 3, and then I heard 4, and then I don't know. Now I'm hearing possibly 5. Those lines. Well, they said it was done by a ship with an anchor, and
So he was making U-turns and swerves?
yeah. Those lines are hundreds of miles apart from each other, and they just so happen to be between America and Iraq and Iran and all over the other places.
It is so blatant what they do.
I think they don't want us. They want to know what we're saying. They want to know what we're thinking. They want to know what we're feeling. So, they can put stuff out on the media. And the other reason they don't want us talking to other folks over via the internet is because they don't want us, the people here in America, letting other people in other countries know, hey, we know what's going on.
Well, I think they cut those lines because they wanted to shut down communication to Iran. Isn't that what the speculation is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because who in their right mind is that knows anything about politics at all now that's going on today, that doesn't buy everything that the media says?
That's why I go to...
They're not going to know that Iran is innocent. They haven't done anything. They're not going to do anything. This is all about a big world grab.
That's probably true. One of the things is if you control the information, you control the world. And that's basically what people are trying to do.
If you control the information and control the money.
Exactly.
Aaron Russo's Freedom to Fascism. We care not who makes the laws. If you make the money, if you have the control over the money, you've got control over the laws and everything else.
Right on.
And you have corporate personhood and all this other stuff.
We're running out of time now.
Yes.
Tell me, what are you doing about this situation personally?
Well, first of all, I did this myself, and I encourage others to do it. Educate everybody you speak to.
Okay.
Now, I might be sticking my neck out because even when I'm paying my bills, like to Quest or whatever, and those phone calls are all recorded anyway, I tell people about Aaron Russo's EndgameTheMovie.com. Watch it, folks.
Okay.
It's free.
Well, thank you for talking.
Anyway.
We've got 45 seconds
I
left.
educate people. I took an 8-week class down at Portland Community.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks again.
Sorry we had to cut you off, but we've got 30 seconds left. I want to say this was a good show, Don. We got a lot of people out there thinking about what needs to be done.
And they're watching you in China, I'm sure, and they're going to come and get you from over there because you're talking about that capitalism as being better than U.S.'s corporatism.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back, Shaun.
Great. Okay,
buddy.
We'll see you. We'll see you later. Tune in 2 weeks from today, and we'll have another show.
And remember, do something. Don't just complain and whine and be unhappy. Do something. Call somebody, talk to somebody, take a chance, wear a button. Wear a flag.
Talk to your friends.
Night, night.
Well, that was...